Today we're going to learn about the civil rights leader, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr., best known for his nonviolent protests and speeches calling for equality for all people, was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He was the second of 3 children, born to a Baptist preacher. At the time, less than 70 years after slavery was made illegal in the United States, things were still hard for Black Americans. Many people were unhappy when slavery was ended, and lawmakers in some places, especially southern states, made special rules to keep white people and Black people apart. People of different races had to use different drinking fountains, different bathrooms, and even had to go to different schools. The Supreme Court ruled that it was legal as long as things were separate but equal. This separation between people of different colors was called segregation. This was the atmosphere that young Martin Luther King grew up in. He attended a segregated school, where he did so well that he was able to skip 2 grades and graduate at the age of 15. Shortly after graduating, he began studying at Morehouse College, and he graduated with a degree in sociology in 1948. He had decided to become a minister like his father, and so he enrolled in a seminary to study religion. In 1951, Martin Luther King Jr. graduated from the seminary, the top in his class. On June 18, 1953, King married Coretta Scott, with whom he would have 4 children. He continued his education by studying for his doctorate at Boston College, and in 1954 he became the pastor of a Baptist church in Montgomery, Alabama. In 1955, he received his PhD when he was only 25 years old. In December of 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man, for which she was arrested and spent the night in jail. Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders organized a boycott of the bus system. This meant that the people who wanted things to change would stop riding the bus. The Montgomery Bus Boycott lasted over a year, and so many people refused to ride the buses that the bus companies lost a lot of money. In December of 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that segregated buses were unconstitutional. This was a major victory for the civil rights movement, and it proved that peaceful methods could create change. However, many people were upset by the changes that were happening, and Martin Luther King was nationally recognized after his part in the bus boycott. He was jailed over 20 times, stabbed, his house was bombed, and he was frequently threatened, but he never stopped calling for equality. Between 1957 and 1968, King worked tirelessly to promote civil rights. He traveled all over, giving thousands of speeches, writing 5 books and many articles. His hard work and speaking ability earned him respect and a personal meeting with President John F. Kennedy. Of all his speeches, his most memorable was the I Have a Dream speech, delivered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in 1963 to a listening crowd of 250,000 people.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
That year, Martin Luther King was named Time magazine's Man of the Year, and in 1964 he received the Nobel Peace Prize. Around the same time, partially as a result of his efforts, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act, which made segregation and discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin illegal. King gave his final speech on April 3, 1968.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
The next day, while he was standing on his hotel balcony, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed. He was 39 years old. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill creating a national holiday to remember King's life and accomplishments. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is celebrated on the third Monday every January in honor of the man whose dream of peace and equality helped change a nation. I hope you enjoyed learning about Martin Luther King Jr. today. Goodbye till next time.